Georgia will soon hum to the sound.
Feel different being on this side of the game?
Yeah, it does feel a little bit different, but I'll tell you, I'm getting a lot out.
This is round number 8 of the THQ 125 AMA Supercross Series. East Division. And hello once again, everybody. I'm Todd Harris along with the champ, David Bailey. Well, what a revelation Branden Jesseman was last week. Everyone knew he was fast, David, but with the guys dropping down from 250 to race 125 East, were you surprised how far he beat the crowd by?
A little bit. You know, usually when you haven't started a series yet, it's just tough to get everything rolling. Right there, Rick Johnson gave him some words to Branden in the practice session, got him all fired up, and you know, Branden didn't show any rust at all. He got right out there, got the whole shot, checked out from everybody, really put the pressure on everyone, and he's obviously very ready for this series.
Well, let's talk about Brock Sellards. Here's a guy coming into the event, coming out for the 250s. A lot of people thought he'd run away with it.
Well, you know, I was a little bit surprised with the result because in practice, he looked a little rough around the edges, but he brought his A game to the main event. Then the first turn pileup took out a lot of riders, but right there in the middle, falling over another rider was Michael Byrne. He got up from that, picked up that bent bike, and rode from last to third. You give this guy a start, and Branden Jesseman's got trouble up front. Also, Ivan Tedesco had a little bad luck, and you give him a better start, and we got a great race in this 125 East.
As we take a look at the Suzuki Series standings, it's Jesseman, Sellards, Byrne, Mike Brown, and Kelly Smith rounding out the top 5. Well, before we go racing, let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team, a man who knows everything there is to know about the Georgia Red Clay, Cameron Steele.
Well, guys, the crowd is ready to go. Supercross racing. I'm out here on the track in the Georgia Red is what I like to call it. And how deep are these whoops? The guys at Dirtworks have been making the obstacles so gnarly every single week. These whoops are like almost waist deep on me. It's totally crazy. These guys have to get through it every single lap, but I guarantee you we're going to see some yard sales. It should be exciting.
Thank you, Cameron. David Bailey, it's now time for the THQ track map.
This looks a lot like San Diego looked. A huge start all the way down the full length of the stadium floor into a big bank left-hand corner through a tricky rhythm section. A lot of different options to get through that. That sends you into the biggest whoop section we've seen all year. Takes you to the first triple. 90-degree right, up on the plateaus, back down, up on another one through more rhythm sections, leading you in to the other triple on the other side. Through another whoop section. These are slightly smaller, but still technical. Rhythm section, a left-hander, and the big finish line jump.
125 heat number 1 is on the line as we get set to go here in Atlanta, Georgia. The Georgia Dome is the venue. And David, as we look at Brock Sellards, as we talked about, here's a guy with a lot of pressure on him per se. But for him, it's just a matter of going out there and riding his machine.
You know, Brock seems to really thrive on pressure. You know, I see him during the week and doesn't really impress me that much. And I think, man, he's going to need to pick it up a little bit in the races. He's so focused. He's got Tedesco, his teammate, just to his left. And you see him pushing the forks down right there to clip that thing in, to hold the front end down. And it's really important here, Todd, because the soil is so tacky. These things really want to wheelie off the line. So having that front end a few inches lower really makes a big difference.
So Sellards and Tedesco and number 32, Michael Byrne out of Australia. And here's a guy we talked about. He dropped down from 250 extremely fast. As we take a look at our Nissan starting grid, Michael Byrne is in there with Sellards and Tedesco, Metcalfe, Lalloz, Adams, Shane Lust, the younger brother of Ezra, as the 30 board goes sideways, and we are set to race in the Georgia Dome.
Byrne gets a great jump right away.
Like Michael Byrne wanted to avoid, we still have riders going down. I was going to say Byrne wanted to avoid what happened last week in Minneapolis. He did just that. So Michael Byrne sits comfortably in second place right now.
Well, Metcalfe on the KTM gets a great start. Those bikes are fast, but he's hesitating a little bit to that whoop section, and now he's got company.
Brett Metcalfe also on the KTM, as David pointed out, the Red Bull KTM Racing, your leader right now. Michael Byrne right behind him. And Byrne makes a quick pass. Can he make it stick? He's on the outside. Gets it done.
Beautiful. Look at how fast he carries those guys are the cream of the crop right here. Sellards also, but Tedesco and Byrne really got robbed last week. Tedesco hit that tough block, knocked him down. Byrne went down the first corner, so these guys have got plenty of speed. They want to show Branden Jesseman coming up next that, hey, buddy, it ain't going to be as easy as it was last week.
Tedesco, there you see him, one of the fastest riders in this out of Lake Elsinore, California on the Yamaha Boost mobile Yamaha Troy racing machine. Tedesco showed a lot of promise in the 250 state that made the drop down to 125 East. Currently running in second place.
Well, they call him Hot Sauce, and it's cool. I don't know, on his rear end, they've got a patch there that says, looks like the Tabasco sauce logo. It says Tedesco back there, and he's hot, man. When he's feeling it, and he has been lately. He's so aggressive. He's actually reeled Byrne in a little bit. This could get really good.
Michael Byrne continues to be your leader. This is 125 East, heat number 1, and here comes Tedesco and Sellards make the pass.
Sellards going for that triple there. Had the front end pretty high. He brought it up that high. I don't think he was sure he was going to be able to clear it. You don't want to nose the front end into something when you think it might be coming up a little short. Now, Tedesco may be able to close the gap a little bit, get up there and try and stay in contact with Tedesco and Byrne. And it's important. The heat race doesn't mean everything. There's no points here, but it really sets the tone for the night.
20 riders. They're only going 6 laps. The top 9 go to the main. The other 11 go to the LCQ. That is Brock Sellards on board the Yamaha. Sellards currently sitting in third.
Sellards, watch him go for this triple right here, right up that rut. It's the front end high. He's like, oh, okay, made it. He was a bit nervous on that one, but he gets the job done. You know, like I said earlier about Sellards, sometimes doesn't look quite as smooth and stylish as some of the other guys. He has that. I've seen him ride that way before, but oh no. Stuck the front end a little too high there.
So Brett Metcalfe will get his position back into third. The man who got the whole shot. Luckily for Sellards, still in 6th place, so a good recovery. He goes over the berm of the tough block. And remember, the top 9 will go to the main, either 11 to the LCQ.
Now, he'll be bummed about that because he wants to stay in contact. Watch, he does this double into the corner. Just couldn't get leaned in there early enough.
Well, so much has been made about this dirt here in Georgia. It's very red and very tacky, as you pointed out. They haven't had to water this down hardly at all.
Now, this stuff is really trying to keep it dry. That whoop section right there has just been, it just belongs to Michael Byrne. He is going through there so fast, and that's where he's getting a lot of his distance on Tedesco. He's opened up his lead now to about almost 3.5, 4 seconds. His lap times are down into the 53.9, where Tedesco's still just in the low 54s.
Michael Byrne out of Australia, Queensland, on board the Amstel Honda Chaparral Honda, looking very good. One of the riders that dropped down from the 250 class. A lot of people thought he would run away with this thing, but Branden Jesseman showed that that would not be the case last week in Minneapolis. Michael Byrne had to show that he is the class of the field because he did so well against the guys like Carmichael and Reed in the 250 class, but the battle rage is on now. Look at this.
You got a huge pack right there, and chasing this pack is Ezra Luck's younger brother. He is in 8th place right now, and he should be able, if he can hang on to that, he's going to make a main event right here in his hometown. Last week he missed it by 1 spot.
Brock Sellards in the middle of that pack, number 18 on the Yamaha, having some problems in the whoops there. Now he's starting to make a move on Brett Metcalfe. Comes up a little bit short there, David, but somehow he's able to get out. The white flag is out for those riders.
Same move again. He wasn't quite sure if he was going to get all the way over that thing. Oh, Metcalfe goes down.
Metcalfe gets tangled up with another rider of Troy Carroll. Yep, Troy Carroll of Valencia, California, so they'll drop back. A lot of exciting racing here in the 125 class early on. This is heat number 1. And Michael Byrne is making it look easy. He's starting to run away from Ivan Tedesco. His lead now up to about 5 seconds. And this is Michael Byrne, the area you talked about, just flying through there.
And those are so big. Those whoops are huge, and he just rides through there like they're not even there. Amazing.
Your winner in heat number 1, Michael Byrne from Australia on board the Honda. As he looks back to see the rest of the field, Tedesco now comes through. So Byrne is in, as is Tedesco. We'll wait for 7 other riders to join them in the main event, the automatic transfer. The rest of them will be going to the last chance qualifier. Sellards now comes across. You can see the distance that Byrne had, David, by virtue of that tremendous start.
And Troy Carroll, his first ride over here. So Yamaha Troy's filling in for Anderson, who got hurt earlier. And coming from Australia, number 905, he's in the main event, and he's been winning everything in Australia since Byrne and Chad Reed left.
When we return to Atlanta, Georgia, we'll have final results, plus we'll talk with our winner and the Thor Rider profile when we return on ESPN. The THQ.
They're always hoping.
And welcome back to the Georgia Dome. There are your results of the 125 East Heat number 1 here from Atlanta. Michael Byrne is your winner, Tedesco and Sellards. Let's send it down to Cameron Steele, who's with Michael Byrne.
Well, guys, your heat number 1 winner has been picked to possibly win this whole thing. So many people talking about Michael Burner last week. Didn't go as planned. I don't know if it was nerves or guys just taking you out, but this is much better, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot better. You know, I got a great start, tonight, and that definitely helps. It makes it a lot easier. And actually had there was 3 strains out there in the front. We all went over the triple together, so that's pretty good for our country too. And but I just like to thank Honda. They've done a great job on my bike and stuff, and my mechanics work really hard and long hours, and it's definitely starting to pay off. So hopefully tonight we can get a win.
Well, you 3 guys from Australia, I was going to ask you about that. Does it feel like a reunion? What's going on in Australia? Chad Reed as well. I mean, so many great riders coming from Australia right now. Your series must be pretty nice down there as well.
Yeah, it's definitely getting bigger and bigger each year, in Australia. So it's really great for the sport, and it was cool to look over and see 2 other Australians there then. So I was pretty stoked. So it's going to be good tonight.
It's time now for our Thor Rider profile.
Check it out. He's smiling because he won the last Supercross. That's right. 125 East. First event winner, Branden Jesseman, hanging out over here at the Sobe Suzuki pit. And we wanted to get to know him a little bit because, he actually seems like kind of a quiet guy. Is that the case? You're really kind of fun and bubbly, aren't you?
No, I'm pretty quiet, conservative. Just want to do what I got to do at the races here.
See, making me look dumb already. I asked a stupid question, he shuts me down right away. All right, you win the first race this season. Were you expecting it, or is that something that just kind of popped up? Were you going for the top 3?
No, I was actually expecting to win. I've been working really hard in the off.
That's confidence right there. I like that. That's really good.
Yeah, I've been working really hard in the off season, and I feel I deserve to be up on top of that podium. So just gotta go every weekend and try to put my Suzuki up on top.
All right, well, we know you can win the races. We're here to find out a little bit more about Branden Jesseman. I know you're from PA, right? Pennsylvania. What's going on up there? What's it like up there?
Well, right now it's about probably 15, 20 degrees and about a foot of snow. I mean, it's not very good back there right now, but I'm just staying down in Florida right now where it's nice and warm.
Nice and warm. It's easier to ride dirt bikes there. Talk about your team and your bikes and what's been going on. A lot of guys were riding 250s where they're going to be doing the East Coast 125s. You didn't do that. You just kind of waited. You had an injury to your knee at the end of the season. So you just kind of waited and methodically, here it comes, here it comes. Boom! Just attacked everybody.
Yeah, I had to get surgery on my knee at the end of last season, and I just sitting there watching everyone run the 250s on the West, and while I was preparing for the East, and but I don't think it hurt me any. Came in the first race, I got the top of that podium, and just got to keep pushing because I know people are going to be pushing for me this weekend, and I've been working even harder. So hopefully I can do it again.
Quiet confidence. This guy's got it going on. He's focused and ready to win. I think he probably win a few more this year.
125 heat number 2 is on the line here at the Georgia Dome. 20 riders going 6 laps, and as always, the top 9 demand the other 11 to the LCQ.
Taking a look at Branden Jesseman right there. It looks like he's focused, but he always looks like that. So it's hard to tell the difference, man. This kid is dreaming about winning a title. He stole around the last round last year from Chad Reed up in Pontiac Silverdome. Started this season with a win, stretching his forearms, going through the mental preparation. He's got Mike Brown right next to him. They don't even look at each other. They're like, nah.
Well, Mike Brown, we've seen him in the last few stops on the 250. He got some great starts. And I think if he can translate that into the 125 East class, he's certainly going to be a contender.
There's our helmet camera. So there's his view. He's going to be starting over to the outside. Michael blows, put the goggles on. Watch the camera, watch the camera. It's a long start here. These guys are probably just getting into 5th gear, I would say.
As we take a look at our THQ starting grid, there's Jesseman, Brown, Smith, Gibson, Boniface is in there, as is Ryan Morris, Vallejo. Michael Blows is in there as well. Should be a great race. Tiger Lacey's in there. Missing stack.
30-second card. That's when your heart's racing. You're like, please, please let me get a good start. Let me make it through the first corner. Let me try to ride relaxed. Let me ride my best. And I think the problem with Brown has had is he's been riding a little bit tight. If you look at this guy, he is fit. There's no reason for him to fade like he did last weekend, but I think he got a little tight. Sign and sideways.
And they're off. This is heat number 2, 125 East from Atlanta, Georgia.
Kelly Smith nailing it again.
And look who's right with it. Mike Brown takes it right back.
Beautiful. And Kelly, that's what I love about these rhythm sections. Back and forth all the way through there, and Kelly gets him back.
Kelly looks a little smoother through his first rhythm section. They come up to the big triple. Bolton in, clearing. No problem as Branden Jesseman slides comfortably into third. Now Kelly Smith starting to make a move, and immediately Mike Brown takes it inside line.
Well, they keep going back and forth. And you saw, if you watched last week, there's a whole pack of riders that had a tough time getting around Kelly Smith. Brown was one of them, but he's got him to the left side here.
Mike Brown makes the pass. Jesseman was looking for that inside line pass. Came up a little bit short, cased it. Kelly Smith looks over and sees Jesseman one more time. Mike Brown starting to check out.
Jesseman and Kelly having a great battle. You see Jesseman just going to work early, trying to, he's got to stay with Brown. You can see they're side by side again. Kelly's just tough to pass. He makes you earn it.
Showed it last week in the dome. Had some problems there in the run section. And that gets the job done for Jesseman. So it's Brown, Jesseman, and Kelly Smith. 1, 2, and 3 early on here in 125 East, heat number 2.
Now, besides Kelly Smith being a fine rider, he's riding that 250F. Now, the 125 class, you're like, oh, 250, what do you mean? In case anyone's tuning in, doesn't know the difference. The 4-strokes are allowed to run a few more cc's because of the heavier weight, a little more sluggish. Now the things have gotten so light, nimble, and easy to handle that it becomes the bike of choice for guys like Kelly that need a little advantage, need to get that good start.
And it sure seems to be translating on starts for him as he pulls the whole shot off, relinquishes it to Brown. As we take a look at our top 5, Brown, Jesseman, Kelly Smith, Gibson, Johnson, and Boniface in 6th place as we go on board. Michael Blows carrying the camera, Team Solitaire.
Heading down into the first corner, this is coming out up onto the plateau, over this one, double these, double that. Still got a single into the corner, then these whoops are huge. I don't know if this camera's going to show it. They're like jumps. It's amazing the guys that are able to just stay up on the tops of those. And now while we check this out, with Blows, there he is, heading up to another triple. This is the lead up. You've got to get over this double to have a run at this triple. This is where Shane Lutz laid up in that first heat race and lost the position. He'll have to go to the last chance qualifier.
And there's a rider down, that's Jeff Gibson, so a lot of the riders have to slow down as Blows comes up on that. Gibson back up and riding. And Gibson, he went down in a very precarious situation. The ruts are very deep, but really hard to say what happened here, David.
Now watch the rider in the yellow, number 67. He was up there looking good. And they get together. You don't want to lock bars right there. Once again, Kelly Smith, last guy standing. He gets away from all that. The guy just, you got to move him out of the way. You know,
Telling you,
going to go down.
The folks at True Value Hardware should get a hold of Kelly Smith. This guy is tough as nails.
You know, what's surprising me right now is that Brown is pulling out a lead on Branden Jesseman. And Jesseman, that went down, pushing so hard, has dropped clear back now. He'll make the main event, but his clothes are coming off.
Well, Mike Brown looking very good, as you pointed out. Jesseman having his problems in the back of the pack, and the lead for Brown now in excess of 10 seconds. So Mike Brown, you think he's just layup right now, but that's really not Mike Brown's personality.
No, and especially if I haven't even asked him. You know, sometimes it's a psychological thing. There's Jesseman. Look at his pants. His pants are ripped. His jersey's ripped. He's still going for it. He's working on Ryan Morris right there, number 160. This is what makes a champion. You got to fight through whatever the heck's going on, and he's got his clothes are falling off.
Looks like Earl Campbell in the old days. Guys tearing his jersey.
Another rider going down, making making it a little bit easier for him to get back up there.
Are you surprised how many riders we've seen gone down knowing how tacky the soil is?
No, the nature of the soil causes a few more mistakes, and for Jesseman, a little surprising to see him go down. He's back up and charging hard, and that's what you need to see. You know, but Brown was pulling away anyway, so this looked like it was going to be Brown's heat, even if Jesseman didn't make the mistake.
This is the final lap from Michael Brown. He is your leader in 125 East, heat number 2 from Atlanta, Georgia. Remember the top 9 going to the main event, and it has been all Brown, turning the fast lap time, staying out of trouble, and more importantly, David, staying upright.
Well, you know, going back to Brown, you know, I didn't want to talk to him. Hey, so were you tight last week and put that in his head? You know, I just see him and give him a thumbs up. Hey, good luck tonight. But that's what I'm assuming happened last week. He had a lot of pressure on himself, and he rode a little bit too tight. He couldn't get the most out of himself and faded a bit. But here he solved that problem and gets his heat win and off to a good start.
Michael Brown, your winner on board the Kawasaki Team Pro Circuit Chevy Truck Kawasaki out of nearby Johnson City, Tennessee. As we go back to second place, and you can see just how far back it is. It's Boniface who will pick up the second spot. Steve Boniface out of Temecula, California on the KTM Red Bull KTM racing machine. As the rest of the riders come in, remember, top 9 automatically transfer to the main. Goes Brown and Boniface in, as is Vallejo, Smith. Jesseman moves all the way up to 5th. Then it's Bentley, Johnson, Morris, and Tiger Lacey gets the final transfer position. So a great race for Boniface, but a better race for Michael Brown here in heat number 2. When we return to the Georgia Dome, we'll have official results. We'll talk with our winner. Plus, it's time for Suzuki's On Track when we return. Welcome back to the THQ 125 AMA Supercross Series from the Georgia Dome. Here are our Suzuki Heat 2 official results. Michael Brown getting the big victory and sending a message. Right now, let's send it down to Cameron.
Well, for a guy that's accustomed to winning so much, it must have been tough recently. You had a bad outdoor nationals. The 250s didn't quite go the way you wanted. Then last week, just off the podium, this has got to be a much better feeling.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I've been up here in a while, and at least it's a heat race. You know, it gets you motivated for the main, and my bike's awesome. You know, I've been working hard on my bike and myself, and you know, I felt good out there, good and smooth, and you know, that's about it.
You look really smooth. Supercross is all about the timing, and you really have to come through every single race, every single lap. How is the track out there for racing?
Oh, it was pretty good. You know, we worked the track before we went out there, and you know, it's good. My Bridgestone tires worked really good off the start. That's the main thing, is getting the start on this stuff.
Right on. We look forward to seeing you in the main, Mike. Great job.
Thanks a lot.
We take a look back into the history book now for our Honda flashback. In the 125 East, Australian import Chad Reed took his 4th stroke to yet another victory in 2002. This was not, however, a runaway. Grant Langston, who came into this race as one of the favorites, got tangled at the start, moved up to 4th, and then crashed again to finish in 16th. Kelly Smith took the early lead and would eventually be passed by Mike Brown and Steve Boniface, who would finish 2nd and 3rd respectively. Chad Reed came from mid-pack to challenge Brown in the final laps, making the pass, taking the win, a perfect 3 in a row.
Here's Reed to the inside, and he's clean like that. 1. Checkered flag. Chad Reed, 3 for 3 in his American debut.
Right now, let's join Jamie Little for this week's Suzuki On Track.
The Supercross Series takes us all over the country. That means different kinds of dirt and different track conditions. One of the keys to winning a Supercross race is tire selection, and the guys at Dunlop showed us what it takes to get the job done.
Normally at an event we'll do 100 to 150 tires during the weekend. We start out with about 800 just so we have a large enough selection to make everybody happy. You know, if it's an open stadium we have to bring mud tires in case it rains, as well as the hard pack stuff. So it's difficult because somebody like Ricky Carmichael runs a different tire than all our other riders, but it obviously works very well for Ricky. there's different compounds, different constructions as far as firmness or softness of the carcass. Some riders like a real stiff feel that doesn't roll at all. Some guys like a very soft, supple feel. So you kind of have to play each rider differently. We can do a tire in about 2 minutes. It just takes a lot of experience, and I do it, and also Brock Lover helps us, and Brock helps me deal with all the different riders to try to make sure they're happy on our tires.
The tour is shaping up to be a great one, and it's going to be a battle all the way down to Las Vegas, our final stop. Before then, though, we'll make some terrific stops in St. Louis, Missouri on March 22nd, Houston, Texas on March 29th, and then Pontiac, Michigan on April 5th. The 125 main is coming up from the Georgia Dome right after this. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia for the THQ 125 AMA Supercross Series. This is the East Division. Let's step away from the action for another McGrath moment. This week we go back to the year 1996. The venue, Seattle's Kingdome. The main event saw an incredible battle between Jeremy and Damon Huffman.
Suzuki with McGrath to the outside.
McGrath almost in last place. Horrible start.
Here comes Jeremy. Leaping right by Ezra Lusk. He's got the inside. Jeremy McGrath is now our leader. Here comes Damon Huffman out of the woods to the outside. But Jeremy McGrath had a good angle. Huffman. Oh my goodness, bar to bar. They hippity hop through the first part of the loops. And then the speed factor going into the corners.
But Huffman with that outside line can double over the job. McGrath knew it. He looked to his side.
Going into the triple. Bar to bar. McGrath retakes the lead.
Watch Huffman. Right back by him with long legs.
McGrath was given the inside and he took it. Jeremy McGrath, his 4th consecutive victory.
Now time for the Nissan qualifying highlights. This was the 125 LCQ on board with Michael Blows.
Didn't get the greatest start, but check this out. A little aggressive riding on his way to the front.
Hans Steele gets bumped off there. Blows would get back up and riding, and just when we thought he was going to make it in the main event, he would make contact one more time. But meanwhile, Brett Metcalfe pretty much checked out of this one. Metcalfe was your winner, and he would walk away with the transfer position. And there are your Nissan qualifying results. Metcalfe, Curry, Gibson, and Shane Luss squeaking in for the final transfer to the main. The 125 main event is set to go as they take one last look at the track, David, and it seems like everyone once again is concerned with that one whoop section.
Yeah, that's the biggest whoop section we've seen all season. And first, they're going to be tapped out going down this long starting line. 4-strokes may have an advantage there. Through the big sweeper, long rhythm section up and on, and you got to do that a little different on the first lap. And these are the whoops. They're huge. Biggest ones we've seen all season. Leads you right into the triple. Sometimes they can't jump that triple because of those whoops. Another more rhythm sections and plateaus leading up to the other triple. That one they can get over a lot easier. Sends you into the final whoop section before you head on to the finish. This triple right here, it's been a lot of different ways to get through there, but I think the guys are going to go the safe route. Double the first two, triple the second, or the last three.
This is the Georgia Dome. Near capacity crowd has turned out. A lot of people here to see the Lusk boys. Shane Lusk made it into the 125 main event. We hope to see a little bit of him, but right now we'll take a look at our Honda main event starting grid. Michael Byrne, Michael Brown, Ivan Tedesco, Steve Boniface, Brock Sellards, Eric Vallejo, and the rest of the crew. Branden Jesseman not getting the lane that he probably wanted. You look down the rest of Troy Carroll's in there, Ryan Morris, Tiger Lacey, and Shane Luss. 60,000, 67,000 people in attendance here at the Georgia Dome. Used to seeing guys like Michael Vick put on a show, but tonight they'll be seeing guys like Michael Byrne put on a show and Michael Brown.
Mechanic right there going, hey, breathe, breathe. And flew home last week from Minneapolis with the mechanic. He's up in first class. I got upgraded. I don't know why I didn't argue. Pretty nice. He's up there flying in style. I don't know where Byrne was, but his mechanic was in first class. Yeah, they're expecting a lot better result this week. Not bad last week for Sellards. Ran up into second place. And when he clipped that tuck block by accident, he went out in front of his teammate Tedesco and took him out. So I look for Tedesco and Byrne to be a lot tougher here tonight.
34 to his side. He was willing to find out who gets the SXGP.com hole shot as they race that fourth corner wide open.
Boy, it looked like Byrne had it. He got sandwiched. It's Kelly Smith again.
Kelly Smith out in front, picking up the SXGP.com hole shot cash.
But Sellards is able to get around. And if those guys have a tough time getting around Smith this week, like last week, Sellards could be gone.
Well, we're not seeing the gap because everyone pretty much stayed upright as they went into that corner, but it's now Brock Sellards who is leading them down the back straightaway through this rhythm section combination. Triple Boniface is right there as well.
This is the entrance to this straightaway. Not sure who jumped over, but somebody jumped into the corner and clipped Michael Byrne, and he is now at the back of the pack again.
The green flag is out, and we are off and racing. 125 east as we look at it one more time. Michael Byrne having his problem.
Keep your eye on the inside of this corner. That was Matthieu Lalloz jumping into the corner. Great timing, but cut it a little too close with Byrne there. He can't really fault Lalloz for jumping in there and making the pass, but Byrne didn't expect it. Flipped his front end, he went down, and we know he can come from the back, but catching the leaders and being on the podium again, man, he's going to get tired of having to pass as many guys to make that happen.
Brock Sellards on board the Yamaha, finished second last week in Minnesota, so by virtue of that, he is second in the points in the 125 East. James Stewart Jr., the leader of the 125 West Division, is in attendance tonight, paying very close attention to what happens here because I'm sure you'll see a lot of these guys in the 125 shootout.
Well, here's what you have. With Sellards out in the lead, I just don't believe that Boniface or Vallejo or Lalloz running second, third, and fourth have anything for Sellards. You should be able to pull away from those guys. That being the case, you got to go back to fourth place and then fifth place to find contenders for Sellards.
Mike Brown
and Tedesco behind him, but by the time they're able to get around into second, Sellards could be long gone.
And Byrne way in the back of the pack, as is Jesseman. He had his uniform shredded. It went through a meat grinder in one of the earlier races. Got that repaired, and he's up and running, but Jesseman in the back of the pack right now, currently sitting in 8th place.
Fastest lap so far, turned by Sellards out front in the clear, 54 flat. Everyone else in the high 54s and 55. So he's capping the field right now, and it's Brown checking over his shoulder going, man, there's the race right there. Brown and then Tedesco and then Jesseman. Man, that's a lot of talent right there trying to move to the front.
I think before it's all said and done, we're going to see a shift between 2 through 6. We got a lot of great riders in there. Tedesco now making a run on the outside. He's going to get pinned high.
He almost lost his front end and went down. Look at the mechanics. Brown going in there.
Lalloz trying to get past Brown. He'll have nothing to do with that. So now Brown moves into 4th place as he starts working on Vallejo minus the sombrero.
The intensity of this group we're looking at is incredible, but the aggressiveness, you got to give that to Brown right now. I mean, he's just slicing his way through these guys. It's like trying to move Kelly Smith out of the way. There he goes again. He should be able to pick up his position. The timing is going to work better for him.
When we come back to the Georgia Dome, we'll have more of the 125 main as Yamaha's Brock Sellards is out in front. Stay with us.
ESPN2.
Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. The 125 main event is in progress. Your leader, Brock Sellards. There he goes. Michael Brown trying to make a move on Boniface. Brown, the 29-year-old out of Johnston City, Tennessee, so somewhat of a local in these parts. Riding on the red clay of the South, trying to find a line, goes out to the outside. Just can't get around Boniface.
Yeah, he's got him here. Boniface knows it too. I had to just lay up right there. So Brown, nice move, but behind, look at that battle. Lalloz leading it. He's got pressure from Tedesco, though.
Here comes Tedesco. He'll pick up another spot. So Tedesco goes into 4th. Brown is in 2nd. And Ivan Tedesco, such an aggressive rider, but that's what you have to be. Originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico, now living in Lake Elsinore, California on the Team Boost Mobile Yamaha Troy Racing ride. The YZ125, the 21-year-old's got it hooking up.
Yeah, look at this again. As Brown just stays a little bit lower. He just planned that clear back at the beginning of the straightaway going, you know, if I can just get to the inside of this guy and get close. And if Brown, if he gets near you and he's on the inside, you can forget it. He'll just clean you out. And he's reeling in Brock Sellards a little bit.
Let's send it back down to Cameron, who's with Brent Myron, Mike Brown's mechanic.
Brent, how are the lap times? Is he catching them significantly right now?
Well, we've just made a 51.46, and I think we'll be catching Brock there in the next couple of laps. I gave him just for a second, which does not stop. He's riding very well, thanks.
And folks, that is why he is the hardest working man in broadcasting. Thank you, Cameron.
Oh, no.
Down. We got riders down all over that back straightaway.
That was terrible. I just, out of the corner of my eye, saw that happen. He plowed into the face of that jump, and that's Ivan Tedesco, second week in a row, a bad break. This time, man, the visor's missing.
Let's look at it one more time. Number 52, Ivan Tedesco goes down in a blink of an eye.
Okay, he's right behind Boniface. Looks like he might have clipped him. Yeah, he did. I can't even look at that.
He got hit not once, twice, but 3 times. So Ivan Tedesco in a position to pounce, and he gets pounced upon. We hope he's okay. He's up right now, standing up. Now he's sitting on a tough block. We'll keep an eye on that and find out if he's okay. Meanwhile, Brock Sellards under yellow flag continues to lead, and that was shaping up to be a great race. Unfortunately, with Tedesco going down, the 2 of the riders behind him also were held up.
Yeah, there was Lalloz got held up, so now Jesseman, who was actually getting dropped by that pack. That was a little stroke of luck for him to be able to sneak back up in there. He's on the podium right now if they finish this way. I don't see that he's going to be able to catch the 2 leaders. He's riding strong, but he's pretty much just riding the same pace right now. And Brown is just, he's got a sight set on Sellards out front.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jesseman rather is going to be able to reel those guys in.
Well, Branden Jesseman is about 5 seconds back of these guys. As they come through one more time, Brown just able to close that. Now down to a 3-second gap over our leader, Brock Sellards. This is the 125 East main event from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. Your leader, Brock Sellards, followed by Michael Brown and last week's winner, Branden Jesseman, who currently sits in 3rd. Then Steve Boniface and Eric Vallejo rounding out your top 5.
We're looking at Byrne right now from that crash in the first lap, which dropped him to pretty much last, all the way up into 7th right now. Incredible ride. But, you know, the title is just slipping away from him. Yeah, maybe he's the fastest guy on the track, but
you got to get a start.
Well, he got a start that time, but it's just unfortunate stuff. I mean, he and Tedesco, man, the luck is not on their side right now. For Tedesco, yeah, he's up and it seems like he's okay, but forget the title now. I mean, these East Coast and West Coast series are a lot shorter, and you just can't throw a race away and come back and win the title. Tedesco is certainly a rider capable of doing it.
When we return to Georgia, we'll have the conclusion of the 125 main. We'll see if Brock Sellards can hold on to this first place position. Stay with us.
Cable to order.
Welcome back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the 125 main event, and we are on the final laps with Brock Sellards, our leader. And let's send it back down to Cameron Steele. He's with Brock Sellards' mechanic, Todd Brown.
They seem really happy right now with Brock, but it seems to me that Mike Brown's catching him.
Yeah, Mike Brown's been riding really good today. Brock got the start, so hopefully we got like 5 laps left. Make no mistakes, and hopefully tonight's our night. I know Brock can do it. I believe it.
Right on. We'll see how it works out.
All right, thank you, Cameron. Oh, there you see the Honda stopwatch as they come around, telling us exactly how far apart they are in their last lap. And the gap comes down. It's right around just under 3 seconds. So Michael Brown can get there, but you see the mechanics waving him on. Find some more horsepower. Get on the rivet and track this guy down. But as you pointed out, David, Brock Sellards doing a great job of holding off Michael Brown.
Yeah, he's able to answer. You know, Brock is just an incredible racer. You know, a lot of guys that go out during the week and they practice and they look spectacular and they're fast and jumping all this stuff. And Brock's pretty good at that, but he's not one of the best. I mean, right there, the front end kind of high and the front end kind of high again. You know, it's not always beautiful, but man, he's effective in racing. Look at that thing dancing all around. He's a little bit like Carmichael. He just hangs on to it. I've seen him ride beautiful, but I don't think he really cares as long as he's in the lead right now. And if he stays like this, he's going to pick up the points lead and have a little bit of a gap over Jesseman, who's still back in third.
Sellards is 7th at Anaheim 3 in the 250 class, now in the 125E. He's looking to take a lead as we look at Branden Jesseman, number 26 on the Suzuki RM 125 Team Sobe Suzuki out of Palmdale, Pennsylvania. And the 20-year-old, after winning last week, I think a lot of pressure was put on him to go out and duplicate it. And give credit to the rest of the 125 East class. They found maybe chinks in his armor or found spots where they could make passes. And Branden Jesseman has not had the luck this week.
Yeah, well, the heat race is going good. And, you know, chasing down Mike Brown. And I didn't catch what happened there, but practically tore his clothes off. So, you know, the night wasn't going very good. He's able to find enough resolve to get back up on the podium and stay close enough in the points chase. Jesseman knows how to win a title. He's becoming a bit of a veteran now.
Well, with just 3 laps to go, Brock Sellards now encountering some lap traffic, which will slow him up just a little bit. Michael Brown doing the same thing, and Brown just unable to break that 3-second threshold really to get within a spot of making Sellards drop back. And give Sellards credit. I mean, we said it before, he has not cracked under the pressure. It looks at this point, David, like he's almost expanded his lead just a little bit over Michael Brown in second.
Like I was thinking, you know, coming into the race, if Brown could put in all the laps in the main event like he did in that heat race, it's incredible. Right now, he's in jeopardy of losing second place to Jesseman, who's just reeling him in right now. And Byrne is clear up into 5th. He's got, it looks like he may be able to get up into 4th before the end of it, get by Vallejo, who's riding a great race.
Now, Michael Byrne had the same problem in Minneapolis last week, the back of the pack, and worked himself into a podium position. I don't know if there's enough time to do that, enough riders riding near him to pass him, but Michael Byrne's certainly capable of that. And Brown continues to encounter lap traffic. Here he sees out of the corner of his eye, Brock Sellards going the opposite way. He's like, I got to catch up to him.
Well, look at the gap, though. Jesseman right there. All the Suzuki guys out there going, get up there. You got him. If he can get second here, then he and Sellards will have split. First and second, will be a tie for the lead. And we talked about how good this East was going to be. Round 2, a tie for the lead. It doesn't get a lot better than that.
Michael Brown continues to sit in second, number 3 in the Kawasaki KX 125 Team Pro Circuit Chevy Trucks Kawasaki, the 13-year pro out of Johnson City. And there you see the battle for second. Brown and Jesseman, lap 13, down a $1.60, up to 3.60. So the time keeps coming down between Brown and Sellards, and now Brown's got problems on his back door. As Branden Jesseman, last week's winner, trying to reel him in, and we got another rider down.
Just after the finish line, you'll see flags. He went down that tricky little double right there. See him on the inside.
Can't see exactly who that is right now. As soon as we see a number on him, we'll get it to you. Looks like he hit his knee or something as we're back to our racing.
I think that was Troy Elliott. Travis Elliott, number 60.
I believe you are right, my friend. In a very difficult situation. He's right on that corner. The rider's going to have to lay up just a little bit. The white flag is out.
No, I'm happy for Sellards, man. I watched this kid work hard. He's been through quite a bit himself. He rides hard. He trains hard. He rides a Volkswagen pickup. Everybody moves fun of his truck. But Brock's a great kid, man. I'm glad to see him get this.
And the checkered flag is out for Brock Sellards. Like General Lee, he has conquered the South. Brock Sellards reigns supreme in the Georgia Dome in the 125 East class.
Yeah.
Brown is able to hold on, more importantly, for second over Jesseman, who will have to settle for a podium position. But, David, he got points.
Well, that'll give the lead now to Brock Sellards. Yamaha Troy happy about that. They hired Johnny O'Mara, former Supercross champion, to come in there and just fill in the gaps, be a plus sign, and they got the points lead. It's a little bittersweet, though. I mean, they have such a great night for Sellards, and then to have that disaster to Tedesco. Hopefully he's not injured. He'll be able to come back and ride. The title's gone, but hopefully he's okay.
We're going to step aside, pay a few bills. When we come back to the Deep South, we'll have official results. We'll talk with our winner right after this short break.
ATV, personal watercraft, and scooters.
Welcome back to Atlanta, Georgia. This is stop number 2 of the 125 East Division. As we take a look at our Suzuki main results, Brock Sellards, your winner. Mike Brown gets second. Branden Jesseman gets third place. And let's send it down to Cameron Steele.
Getting the East Coast started with the second place is solid, but the second round of first place, even better. Brock Sellards, you have to be pumped.
I'm where I wanted to be, you know. Had to get through the first round. Everybody was riding aggressive. People went down. I just hung in there and, you know, finished the second place. And came back here this weekend. I'm like, okay, I can hang out a little bit more, ride a little bit better to my ability, got out into the lead and rode my own race.
Congratulations. Great job. Hey, champion. Second round. He's got to like it. Leaving here leading the points, too, I would assume.
Yep, you know, it's great. It's right where I want to be. Let's just carry it on to round 3.
Right on. He's a happy man.
All right, thank you, Cameron. As we take a look at our Suzuki Series standings, things have changed just a bit. Brock Sellards now moves into the lead with 47 points. Jesseman in second and Brown in third. Let's send it back down to Cameron.
All right, second place would normally be pretty cool, but Mike Brown is used to winning championships. You seem a little frustrated. Last week you're fourth, so you're moving up the podium. Can't be too upset.
No, I'm not. You know, I know what I got to do. It's not the bike, and my team's excellent. You know, it's just it's in my head, you know, and I think each week I ride better. It's just going to add up, and, you know, maybe 2 races I'll be in the top.
Got to go for the win. Up the podium to second. Next week, if you go up, you're in the perfect spot, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, by Daytona, that's my track, and, you know, I've got second there a lot and ride good there, so I'm looking for Daytona. Just get to the top there, and I'll be ready.
Great job, Mike.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron. That'll wrap it up from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. What a great night of racing for the 125 East crew. On behalf of my colleagues Jamie Little and Cameron Steele and the champ David Bailey, I'm Todd Harris saying good night from Atlanta, Georgia and the Georgia Dome. Don't forget, our next event, we move to Indiana, Indianapolis, and the RCA Dome next week. We hope you can join us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from Atlanta.